So, okay. This video is taking a minute to get out because, for one, my work has been having us do mandatory 10-hour days, Monday through Friday, and then also mandatory 8-hour Saturdays. So, I've just been really tired. I've been working a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much why. And then also, okay, so the title's going to obviously state what this is about, but I was trying to do like how people do list videos where they're like 10 things, you know, so I was trying to think of 10 things and I couldn't. So basically my video is about 7 embarrassing things about me or embarrassing things that have happened to me. So I'm just going to embarrass myself today, I guess. I got a little teeny tiny little list here. The first couple things I'm going to say are just like embarrassing things, I guess, and then the rest are like embarrassing things that actually have happened in my past. So the first one is I unironically like the Twilight movies. Now the books are fine, they're fine, but I like the movies. Like, they're terrible, and I know they're terrible, but that's part of why I enjoy them. They're comforting because I watched them when I was like a lot younger. The acting is so funny. Like, the plot holes are... I love it. And it's unironic, and I've rewatched all 4 Twilight movies. I don't know how many times. Oh, and I cut my bangs. You like it? I was like, you know what? I think I want bangs. And, I just started chopping away. And this is what I ended up with. Anyways, so yeah, I unironically like all 4 of the Twilight movies. I think they're fucking great. The second one is, and okay, this one is not to make fun of people. This is just me talking shit about myself. I, twice in the past, like, month, have wet the bed. Like, in the middle of the night. Like, again, I'm not making fun of people who are incompetent, because I don't have incompetence. It's not that I can't hold my, pee in. It's not that I have any sort of bladder issues. It's nothing like that. So, I'm not, like, making fun of people. I just will have dreams that I need to pee. And in my dream, I start peeing. And then I start to in real life and immediately wake up. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm 30! What is this? Okay, and now the rest are embarrassing things that happened to me. Like, embarrassing stories. So the third thing, when I was working while I was pregnant with my daughter. No, it wasn't when I was pregnant. It was after I had her. Okay, it was after I had her. It was after I'd come back from maternity leave, because I had to pump breast milk. And we didn't really have any place for me to do it because I didn't want to do it in the bathroom. Like, it's such a dirty place. Like, I don't want to sit on the toilet, So my boss at the time, oh, my throat's dry. My boss at the time allowed me to do it in his office. And I would put a thing on the door, saying, like, occupied, don't come in. I swear he ignored it. Like, I think he knew I was in there. I could be wrong, but I feel like that motherfucker knew I was in there. And I'm in the middle of, pumping my breast milk, got this big old thing on my boob, my tit completely out of my shirt, and this motherfucker comes into his office, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the thing, I forgot. You sure? I don't think I believe you. So that was incredibly embarrassing. And I hated every second of it. The next thing that happened, okay, so I'm looking at this list, and the rest of these I think are in middle school. One may have been in the 5th grade, but what an embarrassing time for most people. Like, middle school years are the really awkward, growing pains kind of years. Hold on, let me check what time it is. Piece of shit phone, what time is it? Whatever. I think I have time. There's this guy I had a crush on. It was in middle school. It was at one of my best friend's birthday parties. We rented out this place, and we were like playing music, and there was punch, and like we were dancing and singing. And this guy I had a crush on. I think this was like the 7th grade. This guy I had a crush on was standing there. A bunch of girls were standing around him, right? And he said something I thought was funny, and I laughed. And I went, like, laughed like that. and snot flew out of my nose. Dude, I was so embarrassed. And, he just went, oh, like, oh shit. And he started, like, laughing, of course, who wouldn't? So I just kind of walked off, cleaned my nose off, and went right back to hanging out and pretended like it didn't happen, and I lived in denial for years. And then the next one, this one was I think this is the one that was in the 5th grade. May have been younger, like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, whatever. I was at this before and after school program that I went to. So it was after school. And grade school, it was actually it was held in the cafeteria. So it was still like in the school building. And there's this boy I had a crush on, and I had this crush on him for forever. And I finally told one of my friends. And, you know, we were all at the Y. This guy I had the crush on was at the Y, and my friend was at the Y. And they pulled me, her and another one of our little friends, pulled me into the back, into like the kitchen area of the cafeteria, which we weren't supposed to be back there, but whatever. And they literally held me back while somebody went and told him. I was mortified. I was like, I didn't want you guys to tell him. Fuck. They literally held me down, and they're like, we're gonna go tell him that you like him. And I'm like protesting. I'm like, no, please, like, don't tell him. If I want him to know, I'll tell him. And they didn't listen. I was so embarrassed. And then he ended up saying that he didn't want to date me because he already had a girlfriend, but then he would sit next to me sometimes, and like, one of those, it's grade school, you know. So that was fucking embarrassing. I was so mad at them. What a shitty thing to do. Oh, okay. And then another time, this was in the 6th grade. I ended up feeling, I was in class, I'm pretty sure it was math class. I was feeling real nauseous. And, I was just trying to breathe and, like, not throw up. And I was like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. And, you know, I should have just gone to the nurse. But it was to the point where I was so nauseous, I couldn't even explain why I was getting up. Like, I couldn't even tell the teacher, hey, I feel sick. I'm out. So in the middle of class, I literally just stood up, and I turned around, and I started walking, like, towards the back of the class to get out the door. And I couldn't hold it in anymore. And I threw up, projectile vomited down the aisle in between the desks. And I almost threw up on the guy I had a crush on. He had to jump up out of his chair to get out of the way to not be puked on. Oh my God, I was mortified. I was so sick at the moment that I didn't care. But the teacher was like, take the trash can, go to the nurse's office. So I did. And then, you know, after I started feeling better, I came to class. I had not thrown up in the trash can, but I brought it back. And I came into the class and I said, I didn't throw up in your trash can. And the whole class started busting out laughing. Like, it was the funniest thing they had ever heard. I was just like, can I leave? It was so fucking embarrassing. The worst part, though, was that the guy I had this huge crush on had to jump out of the way for me to not puke on him. I couldn't hold it anymore. Like, it just came out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. That was the 6th thing. Okay, so the 7th thing, the last thing on my list. Again, middle school. I think this was the 7th grade. And I was in just like a social studies type of class. It was like a bullshit class. Like, I remember we watched like, The Secret of Nim, that, you know, that mouse and rat movie. We would do like puzzles and shit. It was a fucking useless class. Like, I loved it at the time, but it was a bullshit class. So I was sitting in class, and these 2 popular kids behind me kept snickering and laughing, and you get that real awkward, uncomfortable feeling like it's about you, even though, you know, there's no proof that it is, but like, you just get that feeling. And I would like turn around and look at them, and they would, you know, and then I was just kind of like, okay, and I would turn back around, get back to my work. They would still be snickering and laughing. I turn around, and they'd, you know, and then finally I turned around and I was like, what's so funny? Like, you keep laughing. And they were like, I don't know. But, you know, just being kind of dicks about it. And turns out my underwear was poking up out of my pants, and they were laughing at my underwear. So at the time, it was mortifying. Now it's just like, how... Everybody wears underwear, you stupid fucking middle school pricks. But anyways, I'm running out of time. My camera is about to stop recording, so that's my embarrassing shit. Just remember, there's always hope. Tomorrow will be a better day.